Green Lankin with Lifestyles. Joining me today is the host of the USA Network's weekly movie marathon, Up All Night. I welcome Rhonda Shear. Welcome.
I'm so glad to be here.
You are known, big surprise here, for your sexy exterior. Some people call you a bombshell. And yet I have read, because I have not talked to you before, I have read where you say that's a character, and I've read where you say, hey, I'm a sexy woman, that's who I am. So which is it?
It's a little bit of both. I'm from New Orleans, and down there everything's bigger than life anyway. I ran for public office. I did a lot of unbelievable things in my very young life before ever moving out to LA. And I'm built a certain way. So when you're built a certain way, it's sort of a stigma goes along with the way.
Yeah, but you work it, Rhonda. I mean, there are women who are built like you and wear the baggy clothes, you know, the Laura Ashley dresses. That's not you.
No, it's not me. And, you know, my mother didn't bring up that kind of daughter, too. It's really my mother's fault. I was a beauty queen, and the pageant mother didn't push me into it, but she was supportive of anything that I wanted to do. And she was all about, you know, why hide it? You know, if you're young, why hide it? You have plenty of time to hide it when you get to be my age. So I had that kind of thought in my head. So I pretty much, what you see is what you get. And I've got to the place in my life now where I'm tired of like trying to be something I'm not. I like hair and makeup and femininity, and that doesn't mean I can't be the strongest human being and woman in the entire world, because I can be. But I don't think there's anything about it matter with looking womanly and being a woman.
Well, I read somewhere where you said that you have a college degree, your own production company, you ran for political office. It took you many years to become a bimbo.
That's right. It took me 10 years to make it as a bimbo. When I first got Up All Night, as I coined my little phrase there, it was about showcasing these really bad films that no one watched. So I figured, what's going to make people stop when they're flipping around in the middle of the night?
And you figured your breasts would do that?
A little cleavage and hopefully a couple of wry comments. The cleavage is what they remembered. And now I've been doing this show for 7 years. I've gone away from cleavage. I've worn turtlenecks. I've done goofy glasses. I've done everything. But people remember the show, first impressions, perceptions, reality.
Well, I have to tell you, I mean, there are some fellas in the newsroom when you walk through. That's the woman from the show, and they do remember some body parts.
But
how do you break through that? Because you're more than just Up All Night. I mean, you're a comedian and a performer and a host and an interviewer.
I am a performer, and I am an actress. I started out acting in L.A. Actually, I started off in journalism, and that's what I majored in. Ran for public office, and then veered off into comedy. Comedic acting. Fell in love with stand-up comedy because it's a challenge to get up and make people laugh. No, I definitely am more than all those things. I sort of have a little beef with why I get so tight, because I look at people like, compare myself to, but like the Madonnas who've been able to go in and out. You know, they can be chameleons. And even the fabulous young, you know, Jenny McCarthy. Sounds like I was going to say Jenny Jones. Who also actually, Jenny Jones was a Star Search winner and a big-haired blonde comedian, and people forget that totally, and now she's totally gotten away from that. And Jenny McCarthy, who was Playmate of the Year, now you don't see that in her bio, you just see comedian. I'm like, why is it me? I can't, it doesn't matter what I wear, I'll always be that bombshell.
You think always? You don't think you'll be able to break through that?
I'm getting offered a lot of things now, all of a sudden, acting-wise, that are totally different than my character, because that's what it is. I think maybe why people also think of me that it's more real is because I talk to the camera as opposed to acting the role.
Right, like you are that.
I'm hosting, and I'm using my own name, so it's not Rhonda doing this, it's Rhonda Shear.
You know what else it is too, Rhonda? I think it's interesting that you were a beauty queen in your former life, because you're much more, you're so much more bold than, yes, I like world peace, and I want to be an anchor woman. I mean, that doesn't seem like you at all.
I hate to say that. I love the pageant system, and it's done a lot of great things for women, but those gals are using it to get ahead, for the most part, into show business. I mean, there's a little piece of show business in all of us.
Right, to do that.
I'm not going to lie. I mean, you know, I did it because that's where I wanted to go, was to get into show business, and that was my dream.
What about, though, when you see, you know, that horrible story, the 6-year-old girl killed? What about those little tots dressed up to look like, you know...
That I don't approve of at all, because when I started in pageants, I was a teenager, and it was my decision. My mother would never have put me in a pageant. I would never put, if I ever had a child in a pageant, because just for what it would do to them if they lost, to their self-esteem, and
but to make a 6-year-old look like she's 25 and getting ready for bed, I mean, you know, it's a little wacky.
And it does
things on the mind.
The rest of their lives screws them up.
Well, Rhonda Shear, folks should look at you with a broader mind.
Yes,
Miss
they
Actress,
should.
Performer. But in the meantime, they can still catch you on Up All Night.
Every Friday night, all night, Up All Night. Ooh.
Thanks for joining us today.